Shalom Yeshabala. First and foremost, I want to give all praises and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rechah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, the great millstone. Peace and blessing to those Le'akim that's preached the word in all truth and sincerity, along with Israelite foreigner brothers that look like the heathens. But the line of false side goes back to the nation of Israel, which nation of Israel are you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans through the prophecies and curses of Deuteronomy 28 chapter and throughout the Bible. So this is Brother Yakar, a mouth lesson, and today's lesson will be entitled Show You a Pattern of Good Works. You know, that's going to go on some precepts, and Lord willing, you brothers and you sisters out there be edified through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemon Shai. You know, and I'm going to start from the book of Titus, chapter 2 and verse 7. You know, and this is a letter or epistle that Apostle Paul wrote to Titus, you know, which he was an Israelite, you know. And it says, in all things, showing thyself a pattern of good works. And that's right, man. You know, because if you look at an actual pattern, you know, it's very consistent, you know, and that's how we're supposed to be in the truth. Very consistent and diligent in our works, man. You know, teaching the word, you know, going out on the highways and byways week in, week out, you know, praying to Yahweh Shemon Shai, fasting when the Spirit house on us too, you know, meditating on the word, you know, keeping up with the prophecies, keeping up with the current events, you know, and let's look at that word pattern, making our bodies a living sacrifice, you know. Pattern is from the Greek word typos, which means when you go down, it says an example right here. It says an example to be imitated, a man worthy of imitation, which imitation means when you copy someone. And those men today are apostles, elders, great millstone, man. You know, because their longevity in the truth speaks for itself. You know, they have laid down a foundation of how we're supposed to be in this truth, man. You know, very fervent in the spirit and serving the Lord, man, in all truth and sincerity, you know, and putting the Lord first, you know. So we have examples in today's day, just how it was back then, you know, with Apostle Paul, with first and foremost Yahweh Shai, you know, Apostle Paul, you know, Titus, Timothy, you know, and the rest of the righteous Israelite men that was pushing the gospel, you know. It says in all things showing thyself a pattern of good works and doctrine, showing uncorruptness. Yeah, because we're supposed to speak according to the word, man. You know, it's not supposed to be um, we're not supposed to speak guile and deceit, you know. It says gravity, sincerity. Right. Let's look at that word gravity. Gravity is from the Greek word semnotes, which means honor, purity. You know, so we're supposed to be honest in this truth, man. You're supposed to serve the Lord in honor and truth, man. You know. Now it says, verse 8, it says sound speech, which is sound doctrine, that cannot be condemned. That he that is of the contrary, you know, which will be the gainsayers and nainsayers, that we are opposed to, that we, us in this truth, are opposed to in this truth, you know. It says that he that is of the contrary part may be ashamed, having no thing, having no evil thing to say to you, right? Because as long as we speak according to the word, according to Isaiah 8 and 20, then they can't condemn us. You know, they can't, they can't lie on us, man, because as long as he's preaching the right doctrine in the right way, you know, and just teaching the word, then the Lord's going to vindicate us, man. You see? But, you know, we're supposed to show a pattern of good works, you know, and we're supposed to be an example to the believers, you know. Um, 1 Timothy 4 and verse 12. And it reads, it says, let no man despise thy youth, but be thou an example of the believers in word and conversation. Conversation goes into the conduct, you know, how you conduct yourselves amongst the believers, not conducting yourself, being a nigga, being acting like a two-third nigga in the world, but really putting on that new creature that's renewed in Yahweh Shai, man. By way of your works, your deeds, you know. It says in word and conversation and charity and spirit and faith and purity. That's right, man. So everything that we do, for the Lord, it has to be in sincerity, man. It can't be with guile, deceit, treacherously, you know, because the Lord said, by way of David in Psalms 32 and verse 2, it says, "Blessed is the man to whom the Lord Yahweh imputeth not iniquity, and in whose spirit there is no guile." Right. So the elect is not gonna have the spirit of guile upon them, man. Spirit of deceit. Deceiving people by way of the doctrine. You know, the elect men of Israel is not gonna have that characteristic. That characteristic only applies to the 2/3, the wicked Israelites, man. Because you even have 2/3 in this truth. You know, they perverting the gospel. You know, saying that we can have, brothers know, have sex on the Sabbath. That the charagma is not the implantable device that will go on in either hands or your forehead, according to Revelation 13 and 16. You know, what else? Oh, telling their congregation that it was okay to take you know, the the shot. And many other things, man. Saying that Yahweh Shai didn't do no miracles. You know, all these damnable heresies that's contrary to the doctrine, man. The elect will not have those spirits on them. You know. Now let's go back to First Timothy 4, verse 13. It says, "Till I come, give attendance to reading, to exhortation, to doctrine." Right. So that's another way how we show a pattern good works is reading. Exhortation, giving, encouraging brothers to continue in the faith, man, no matter how hard it gets. You know, to doctrine. Making sure we speaking the correct things. We breaking down the scriptures the right way. You know, because like my brother Yawasap from my camp always said, head of our camp. It's good to have a routine for this truth. Everybody's routine is different. Some brothers might do videos early in the morning, right after they pray to Yahweh Shai. They do a lesson, but some brothers do them at night, or midday, you know, and every brother is different, so everybody got different schedules, so everybody is different. But we all have to make a routine for ourselves, man, so we can you know be built up in the spirit, man. You know, just like you would in the world, man. With your job, you have a routine, a schedule with your job. You know, working out. So you can apply that same energy in the truth too, man. Because this truth is our life. You know, but continuing on, verse 14 says, "Neglect not the gift that is in thee." Right. So let's look at that word neglect. You know, neglect is from the Greek word amelio, which means to be careless of. Yeah, we can't not be careless, of the gift that we have, man. You know, because everybody got gifts in this truth, spiritual gifts. You can read 1 Corinthians, the 12th chapter, I believe, on that, on spiritual gifts, such as, discernment, speaking in tongues, different languages, you know, um, prophecy. Some brothers are very heavy in prophecy, which that's the main thing we're supposed to focus on in this truth. Um, some brothers are gifted in knowing the history, biblical history, secular history, and many other things, man. Like I said, brothers can go to 1 Corinthians, I believe it's the 12th chapter, for the reference of spiritual gifts that the Lord has bestowed upon brothers, each brother in the faith. you know. And I believe, let me just check. I just want to check to make sure, fact check that. Yep, First Corinthians 12, and I believe Romans 12 too. Just want to make sure I'm correct on that. Yep. So, yep, First Corinthians 12 and Romans 12. So, I think you can read those, you know, just for the reference. But going back to First Timothy 12 and see, First Timothy 4 and 12. Yeah, 14 says, neglect not the gift that is in thee, you know. It says, which was given thee by prophecy, with the laying on the hands of the presbytery, which are the elders. You know, so this truth was given to us by prophecy by our elders. Our apostle elders of Great Millstone, according to Jeremiah 3 and 15, because the Lord said that he shall feed us with passes according to his heart, according to his mind. So those pastors or prophets today is our apostles, elders of Great Millstone, you know, and how we show our works, you know, we pattern our works based on how they pattern their works, man, because they're examples to us, you know. Um, let's go to Second Timothy 2 and verse 15. And it reads, it says, study to show thyself approved unto Yahweh, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth, right? So that's what we got to do. We got to study. Because sometimes you can forget, man. You know, if you forget certain history sometimes, if you haven't been in it through a while, you know, even, you know, studying, you know, the milk precepts, man. You know, studying those, reading and studying those early chapters, you know, such as Proverbs 1, Proverbs 2, Exodus, first chapter. You know, those are jewels in those books, man. You know, and when the Lord increases in knowledge, you know, we can go back to it and we can learn more. Like, damn, I didn't even know that was in there. You know, but you're not supposed to neglect the milk, man. You know, it says, study to show thyself approved unto Yahweh. You know, so be studious to have that. It's good to have that studious spirit. You know, it says a workman I needed not to be ashamed. Yeah, because we're not supposed to be ashamed of the gospel. It says rightly dividing the word of truth. Right, that's what we do. You know, and also in Proverbs 15 and 28, it reads, it says the heart, which heart goes back to Hebrew lie, which means your mind, of the righteous study up to answer. Right, so you're supposed to study the answer, man. You know, because you know, especially asking ourselves questions. You know, the homework, if brothers do homework for camps and stuff, you know, and you know, asking our own self questions that a Christian will ask you, or a person will ask you on the highways and byways, and then, for example, you'd be like, if he was to ask this, what would be my response? You know, and you just go to search the scriptures on that topic. You know what you will be responding to, and then you get the precept, man. So that's studying too. You know, it says, "But the mouth of the wicked poureth out evil things," right? Which is, you know, unrighteous decrees. You know, um, false doctrine. You know. Now let's go to the last precept, 2 Peter 1:10, and it reads, it says, "Wherefore the rather, brethren, give diligence to make a calling and election sure. For if you do these things, you shall never fall." Right. So we gotta be diligent, Akim. You know, be consistent in this truth. You know, putting up videos every day. You know, praying to Yahweh Shemosai every single day. You know, making more sacrifices. You know, studying. You know, even if you are sleepy, man. Sometimes you gotta say F sleep. You know, just do the work. You know, because after you do the works, man, you feel accomplished. You feel you did something for the Lord that day. You know, and it feels good, man, as opposed to you going throughout a whole day, you know, you didn't do a lesson or watch the video, you'll feel um, condemned in the spirit, you know. But that's why, we got to show a pattern of good works in this truth, man, and keep being diligent and consistent. So, Lord one Ak was edified, So with that, I want to give all praises and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Recha Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessing to those Le'akim that's preached the word in all truth and sincerity. Shalom.